Hello, beautiful souls. Today we're focusing on the number 4. So we're looking at the Lord, which would be the Emperor in the Rider-Waite Tarot. And this one is the Death card, and that's the 13-4. So we start with form and structure, and we end with death. So if you think about the one thing that remains after we pass out of our physical body is the bones, the structures. And so here's the Credwen. She's the goddess of death, and she's holding the skull there to dip it into the cauldron of rebirth, because we're on this cyclic journey of coming back. And whether you believe in future lives, or you believe in past lives, or you believe in reincarnation, whether you do or not, our ancestral line is within us, and our ancestors get passed forward through the children that we create, the children, the grandchildren, etc. So we are part of a continuum. And that's the idea of the skull being dipped there into the cauldron of rebirth. So we're talking about death of the physical form. And the 4, which is the Lord or the Emperor, symbolizes beautifully the idea of earthly form. You think of the 4, it's a square, and we talk about the building block. There's a passage in the Bible about Jesus being the stone that the builders rejected, as in he wasn't recognized by the people he came from as their Messiah, but he was then the builder of the church of St. Peter, whom he gave the keys to the kingdom. Of course, we all possess the keys of the kingdom just simply by inviting him into our lives and following the way, the truth, and the life that he showed through his ministry. And of course, there's a whole institution, one of the oldest institutions in the world, which is the Christian or Catholic Church. I'm not saying it's perfect. Nothing is that's formed and ruled by men. But here we go. We are on the earth, and we could live in all kinds of different conditions depending on who's forming the structure. So we're looking here at structure, we're looking at time, we're looking at form, and we're looking at authority. We're looking at power and authority. So the Lord sits on a throne because he is the king. He's the sovereign, and he's in command of his underlings. Now, we must be the sovereign of our own life. And one of the first important things to remember when you're the sovereign of your own life is that your body belongs to you. So anything anyone else thinks that they want to do to your body, you have the right to say no. And never consent to anything that you don't fully consent to. Otherwise, you have to deal with the consequences of it. And until the government can give you a new body, which the Chinese seem to be thinking that they can, growing babies in robots, which is horrendous. That's all I can say about that. It's just a complete affront to our humanity. But there you go. When you have nations ruled by people that don't believe there is a higher power, a God, then that's the kind of thing that they can do and believe they get away with. So we have a lot of men with a lot of power, with a lot of money, with a lot of control. That means they get to make the decisions about the way forward. And if they make the wrong kind of decisions, just remember there's a spiritual dimension, and there are higher realms that will step in. In fact, some people say that that's what happened to Atlantis. The Atlanteans had reached the phase of development where they started human cloning, and they started trying to create life, etc. And down they went, down, 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 deep into the Atlantic Ocean. So we think, anyway. And also the Lemurians apparently were similar. So there is going to be a lot of cataclysmic stuff going on in the earth and on the earth. So prepare, buckle down, don't get too attached. Look, we all die. Death's part of life. People get terrified about death, as if it's going to be some surprise that they weren't expecting. But yeah, so buckle up. Things could get shaky in the next few years. We're probably going to see a lot of seismic activity in the earth as it's reconfiguring. And what more do you need than a shake-up to just kind of get you off your perch and realise that you have to answer to higher powers than yourself. The ego the ego loves to be in command in the world. So we would see this figure as the masculine power, not necessarily just men, of course. Women have the masculine as well as the feminine, and vice versa. And so, but this is about worldly authority. This, I would say, is like when Jesus went into the wilderness, into the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, and you see the four? He was tempted by Satan. He was offered all of the kingdoms of the earth if he would just bow down and worship him. So what that would mean is that bowing down to earthly powers, okay? And Jesus said, no, I'm not here for that. I'm here to actually show people that their Father in heaven, as we would call the masculine principle of creation, is there, and that we can call upon it. And who better than to demonstrate that truth than a person who could just instantly manifest, take a few loaves and fishes and feed the multitudes. So these powers will not be accessible for humans until we have moral and ethical standards that allow us to use them without causing havoc to others. And so it's important that whatever developments we approve of moving forward are things that will benefit humanity, not just benefit those horrible little group of sorcerers at the top with all this money going around. And you look at them and they all look so sick, and it's like they have no light in their eyes. They're soulless, and they're deciding the way forward for humanity. I won't mention any names because, well, they can sue me. Good luck. Good luck with getting blood out of a stone. Okay, so here's the emperor here, number 4. And so we are the commanders of our own lives, and we bring form. So our thoughts, our deeds, our actions, our energy, our words, all help to manifest the future that comes in to greet us. So you want to be using positive, happy, good words to ensure that you attract what it is that you want to be enjoying when you're moving forward, before you get to be the skull getting dipped into the cauldron of rebirth. Okay, so accepting 13.4, that's the ending, right? Death. Now, death is not an ending, it's just the end of one form before it moves into another. So I think I've probably said all I need to say. So we've got the serpent there that's associated with the death, and also the earth, because the serpent slithers along the earth, and we have the sickle here, the sickle. The Grim Reaper also has, what does he have? He has a big thing there. It's like chopping the heads off, so that's the end. And so do your best work, darlings. Enjoy your life. Be kind to people. It doesn't mean that you have to put up with bad behaviour from other people, but, you know, when you're walking around your day, smile at others. Be a pleasant person if you can, or at least work towards it, okay? I know there's some people out there that are a bit prickly, and when when they come into your zone, it can be a little bit unpleasant, and you just can't wait for them to be gone. But we're here to learn lessons, and sometimes we've made soul contracts with people that horrify us. But some great growth can come from it if you see yourself as a soul on a journey rather than a victim of circumstances. All right, darlings, hope that was helpful. That completes my 3-part, no, it completes my 10-part, I guess, because I've done the full up to number 9, which is the Hermit, and that's the end of the cycle then. And so we complete this one, and I will be coming back with more. I'm going to be doing all the 1s, and then I'll do all the 2s, and then I'll do all the 3s. So it's going to be exciting. So follow for more so you don't miss any. And if you like them, if you liked it, give it a like. And if you liked it and you feel someone else might benefit from it, give it a share. Take care, lovelies.